Welcome, everybody. This is the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission. This is the second of 4 meetings in which we are gathering public input around the topic of cumulative impacts. I'm very happy to have everybody here. And with that, I'm just going to turn it over to Commissioner Ackerman. He is running the show and doing a great job. So, Commissioner Ackerman, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that, and looking forward to our meeting here tonight. And I want to thank everyone who is on. I appreciate you attending tonight. And for those who will speak for your preparation for today's meeting. Just wanted to remind everybody, that we are here because we had some cumulative impacts discussions during the mission change rulemaking, and several regulations were implemented during that rulemaking that intended to reduce the cumulative impact of oil and gas development at that time. But the commission did commit to take a more focused look at cumulative impacts in the future. And then we received a petition, and we heard it in December of last year on cumulative impacts, largely centered around air and specifically ozone precursor emissions. And we committed at that time to conduct a stakeholder outreach process beginning in the first part of this year, which is what we're doing now. COGCC is the agency charged with managing oil and gas in Colorado, and I think most of you are familiar with the commissioners on the call, but as in our last meeting, we have a few other panel members and staff. I said commissioners, but also staff. We have a few other panel members I'd like to introduce. And so if we could start with Aaron Ray, who's on the call with us.
Good evening. My name's Aaron Ray. I'm the new Assistant Director for Energy Innovation at the Colorado Department of Natural Resources. I come to DNR from the National Conference of State Legislatures, where I led NCSL's energy program. I previously served as Deputy Director for Policy in the Colorado Governor's Office of State Planning and Budgeting. I appreciate being included in this listening session, and I look forward to hearing your views. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Appreciate you being here. And Natalie Eddy as well from CDPHE.
Thanks so much, and thanks for everybody who's joining. I'm Natalie Eddy. I'm the Deputy Director for Policy with Environmental Health and Protection with CDPHE, and appreciate everyone sharing their evening with us.
Thank you, Natalie. And we also have Kate Fury from CDPHE.
Yeah, good evening. I'm the Air Quality, Oil and Gas Liaison with the Air Pollution Control Division. And I'm in the Community and Partnership Development Program within the Air Pollution Control Division.
Thank you so much for being here, Kate. And of course, I think you likely recognize our director, Julie Murphy, who is on with us. Appreciate her being here as well. That said, I wanted to talk just a little bit about procedure and remind everybody that this meeting is specifically to introduce cumulative impacts topics you'd like the commission to consider during its cumulative impact stakeholder process, kind of a scoping. If you would like to comment on a specific OGDP, CAP, or other issue, it'll be helpful if your comment is given during the appropriate hearing, and hearings manager Mimi Larson is on the call and can help get you in the right place if that's the case. However, if you believe the points that you're raising are helpful to the cumulative impacts discussion, please feel free to share them with us here. As a reminder, issues that will be considered within this process must be within COGCC's purview and mission. They must be consistent with Senate Bill 181, and they must be reasonably actionable. And to remind everybody that it's not the intent of these meetings at all to debate or discuss or argue or refute the merits of any of the issues raised, but simply rather to ensure that there's an avenue to raise and describe those issues that are important to you for inclusion in the discussion, along with any substance around that issue that you would like to provide. Therefore, there will likely not be a lot of discussion back and forth. We're here largely to listen to what you have to say, but the panel may ask you points of clarification if they need any from your testimony. You'll have roughly 3 minutes for your principal presentation, but if you need a bit more time, that's okay. We will be watching the time though, and we will remind you. As a reminder to everyone, we are recording these meetings for future reference. Also wanted to remind everybody, please be respectful. Personal attacks of others or allegations of negligence or malfeasance aren't appropriate or effective in getting issues included in this process. And as such, I'd respectfully ask you to refrain from those types of statements, as well as refrain from addressing, debating, or refuting points raised by any other commenters at this time. The time to debate the substance of the issues will surely come. And at the end of each public comment, as I mentioned, you may get asked some points of clarification. With that long preamble, we just have one commenter signed up for today. And I think I do see her in the participants. So we have Betsy Leonard from beautiful Battlement Mesa here to address us today. So can we elevate her to the panel and see if we can get her online?
Ms. Leonard, if you would could accept the panelist request, we will get you into the meeting and you can start speaking.
It looks like Ms. Leonard has appeared there.
Yes. Hi.
Great. I do hear you just fine. I don't see you, but I hear you just fine, Ms. Leonard. So if you are,
I
Oh,
am here.
now I do see you as well. So thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And the next 3 minutes are yours. Appreciate your
Okay.
comments.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Betsy Leonard, and I've been living in Battlement Mesa since 2005. I am concerned about cumulative impacts because of potential deleterious land use, water consumption, air quality degradation, and wildlife disruption. Placing oil and gas facilities on cropland is particularly problematic in the DJ Basin. Fortunately, all non-crop land is used on the western slope. But what will happen as populations continue to expand? How will rangeland, forestry, and recreation be preserved? Prodigious amounts of water are used for drilling and fracking, and this use is in competition with environmental and piscatorial development. I know much of the water used on the western slope is recycled, but eventually it can no longer be used for anything. In other words, the water is taken out of the hydrologic cycle. Thus, new water sources must be tapped. My concern is the depleting conditions of the Colorado River. Spills of flowback or produced water must be sufficiently located a distance away from surface water sources, taking slopes and ephemeral tributaries into consideration. Since all life depends on water, cumulative impacts on trees, noxious weeds, infestation, wildlife barriers, and road disturbances must all be considered. I'm concerned about emissions of methane and VOCs and ozone, which will only increase as more wells are placed on a site, all of which will contribute to the degradation of air quality. I'm also concerned about wildlife habitat destruction and fragmentation. Increased noise, chemical spills, water contamination, and land disruption can all impact natural cycles of animals. I am particularly concerned about the greater sage grouse, lynx, native fish, and pronghorn. I would hope that the COGCC uses requirements protocol to evaluate each project in order to decide a go or no go threshold. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
And thank you, Ms. Leonard, for your articulate and concise comments. We really appreciate that and appreciate you being here with us tonight. I wanted to give anybody on our panel an opportunity to ask any points of clarification of Ms. Leonard, if they have any. That's how clear you were, Ms. Leonard. We heard what you said. So thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate, again, your comments.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you. Okay, that is all we had signed up for public comment tonight. I do want to thank Ms. Leonard for being here. This is a complex issue. Cumulative impacts means a lot of things to different people, and these meetings are intended to help us get our heads around where the public is on this issue. Our next meeting will be this Friday, February 3rd at 1 p.m., followed by our fourth meeting on Monday, the 6th of February at 10 a.m. As a reminder, our intent for the path forward here is to assess the issues that are raised for inclusion in the process, and then refine the next steps once we get our arms around those issues. We're not prejudging the outcome of this process, whether it be rulemaking or policy changes or form changes or administrative procedure evaluation, et cetera. Our intent is to begin broadly with the scoping process and become increasingly focused as we narrow down the recommendations that fit within the purposes of the process, and ultimately, hopefully, make recommendations to the Commission on how to further assess and address cumulative impacts. I want to continue to encourage further written comments. The form can be found online and linked from the homepage of our website. And certainly want to encourage further signups for verbal comments at our subsequent meetings. And also within that form, sign up for potential further personal participation in this process as the stakeholder process continues to roll out. The written comment form will officially close at the close of business on February 24th. That is about a month from our first public meeting, and you'll have an opportunity to get your written comments in. If you've commented verbally, you still certainly feel free to submit your comments in written format as well. A reminder that comments that are not related to cumulative impacts and other issues, we have many issues that are before the commission, and there are appropriate public comment links on our website in order to comment on those processes. So that said, I want to thank everyone for being here, and Mr. Chair, if it's okay with you, go ahead and conclude the meeting. Oh, you're muted there, Mr. Chair.
Because it's after 6. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here this evening. Despite the fact that we only had one public commenter, she is a powerful force that we love to listen to. And so we really appreciate her being with us. She's participated with us quite a bit. We'll look forward to seeing everybody Friday at 1 p.m. and wish everybody a good night.